Solve problems. Alex Hormozy has this great heuristic, which is asking yourself, is this thing a problem or is it just a missed opportunity? So many times we find ourselves, or at least I find myself, having so many things that I feel like I have to do. But a lot of things aren't actually preventing you from getting the things that you want. So first off, you should know what's your goal, what do you want? And when things come up, you should be really clear. Is this a thing that's holding me back or is this just a missed opportunity? So, an example, I'm starting a website design business and there's so many moving parts, right? There's doing the user experience of creating a website, and then the user interface of designing it. And then there's the sales aspect and getting new leads and qualifying the leads and talking to them. And then there's delivering the website. And so I genuinely ran into a problem earlier, which is I want an about section for someone's website, but they don't know what to say. And, if it's a new client, I might not know them super well where I can just write it for them. So that's genuinely a problem, right? And that needs a solution. Now, something I wanted to talk about later, I'll just mention now, which is, solve problems thoroughly, but I think try to do the minimum amount of effort or work, to get the thing done. And this isn't about being lazy or cutting corners, but, less is more. And I think a lot of solutions to problems, when they go further than just solving the base problem, can actually introduce more problems. Or the thing that you're solving isn't really a problem. And so, going back to the example of writing copy, if I don't know who someone is, there's a couple of potential solutions I was brainstorming. I could talk to them for an hour and write some notes and, do the best job that I can representing who they are from the notes that I had in our conversation, which would be, kind of low effort on their end. If someone wanted more control, they could maybe send them a writing exercise to write as many words as they can about themselves for 30 minutes. Then they send over that, the Word document is just unedited, and I can go through and write the best, about me section from the information they gave and really cut it down for them. I could also hire a copywriter. So a lot of solutions. I'm not saying which one is better or worse, and we'll see which one I end up picking. And there are different use cases. So that was genuinely a problem. And when problems come up, I think you should tackle one at a time. So, going back to what I said earlier, there's all of these moving parts with this business. And hopefully we'll see if you're watching this, you can let me know if you're watching in the future if I've made it yet or not. Um, so hi to those watching the future. Myself, I don't know if anyone will actually see this. But I'm getting to sidetrack myself. So you have these problems. There's a lot of them. It's easy to try to tackle everything at once because they're all kind of important, right? And if you have a goal and there's a problem preventing you, like you might not be able to get that goal without solving that problem. But I think it's really, really hard to solve multiple problems at once. I think that's a skill and it can be learned. But yesterday I was able, with just a single problem, so I was making a high fidelity mock-up of a website, which is basically something very, very close to the finished product, and it can be prototyped, but it's not ready for deployment. So it's in Figma, you're kind of like adding little wires where you click on one thing and it takes you to this next screen. So it's simulating what a website would look like, but it's not a real website, but it looks quite close to that. So designing this thing called a high fidelity prototype, and I'm not a great user interface, designer. Um, so I read a book on designing user interfaces, and the whole day was spent towards solving the problem of designing a really nice looking user interface. And that's really important because I want to sell, boutique website solutions that I'm going to advertise as, really high quality. So learning how to make really high quality solutions is genuinely a problem. Now, if I was marketing myself as some commodity where it's just like a done for you, simple, cheap website, then getting it from like, 80% wow factor to 98% wow factor might not have been a big deal. And so that might not have actually been a problem. And you should ask yourself, is this thing actually a problem? Is it actually holding yourself back? Once you've identified whether the thing's the problem, I would say be comprehensive, be exhaustive with your solution, but also put the minimum amount of effort and kind of the simplest implementation into the solution. because extra flair can often create more problems. And so I'll end with this anecdote that I read from this book, Refactoring UI. Ref- refactoring UI, a great resource on user interaction, user interfaces, which was, let's say you're building a social media site and you want to add a comment feature. Okay, if it's a social media site, people can't comment. That is genuinely a problem. But maybe initially you thought, okay, they should be able to add a comment and upload an attachment. But that attachment feature, maybe it's really hard to implement. You're a solo developer. That's going to take extra 3 weeks off, making sure it's working, testing. You should ask yourself, is that genuinely a problem? If someone just had the ability to comment and they didn't have an attachment feature, would that actually stop them from doing what they need to do? If not, I say don't. It's not a. That's a missed opportunity. It's not a problem. So, in summary, solve problems. Be honest with yourself. This is genuinely holding me back. And once it does, be ruthless. I mean, solve it now. Pick the biggest one. Pick one that you think you can do today, and do everything you can to solve it. And be thorough, but don't waste your time. Don't go in circles. And do one thing at a time. Don't solve 10 problems at once. Do a really, really good job solving one problem so it doesn't come up again. And yeah, that's it. That's it for today. So this is my second video, as I said yesterday, which was New Year's Day. I'm really imagining I'm talking to myself, or a younger version of myself, and all of the mistakes and lessons I've learned. And I'm hoping that if I talk about the mistakes I've made, I won't make them again. So if I achieve that, then I consider this a win. So hi to anyone seeing this in the future, or now, or whenever you're watching this. And yeah, until next time.